Good evening and welcome to the Marion Minor Cook Athenaeum. My name is Dante Topo and I'm one of our 2 Ath Fellows this year. And today is the 3rd day of the Cambodian New Year. It is also the 40th anniversary of the Khmer Rouge. Now, CMC emphasizes the importance of leadership, and it's from the outset, even in the application. And we've hosted more than our fair share of leaders here at the Athenaeum, most commonly leaders in business, politics, or academia. However, rarely do we have the opportunity to stand witness to a deeper form of leadership, characterized by the courage to confront a flawed present and a tragic past in defense of a more perfect future. So we are extraordinarily fortunate to have with us tonight such a leader, Arn Chorn-Pond. Arn Chorn-Pond, founder of Cambodian Living Arts, is a Cambodian-American refugee and the subject of the critically acclaimed book, Never Fall Down. Born into a family of performers and musicians from Cambodia, Chorn-Pond was sent to a children's work camp after the Khmer Rouge came to power in 1975. He escaped death by execution and starvation by playing his flute for the camp's guards, and later fled his captors when Vietnamese troops invaded Cambodia in 1979. He managed to reach a refugee camp in Thailand, where Peter Pond, a Lutheran minister and aid worker, befriended and adopted him in 1980. Educated at Brown University and Providence College, Arn Chorn-Pond began a series of community rebuilding projects and founded several organizations, including Cambodian Living Arts, Children of War, Cambodian Volunteers for Community Development, and Peacemakers, a US-based gang intervention project for Southeast Asian youth. Arn Chorn-Pond is an internationally recognized human rights leader, speaker, and trainer, and currently resides in Cambodia, where he continues to be chief advocate of Cambodian Living Arts, supporting elder Cambodian musicians and artists to pass on their invaluable practices to a younger generation. A recipient of the Reebok Human Rights Award, the Anne Frank Memorial Award, the Cole Foundation International Peace Prize, and 2 honorary doctorates for peace and humanitarian service, Chorn-Pond is an accomplished musician, recording artist, and performer who travels the world motivating young people to be peacemakers. Arn Chorn-Pond's talk at the Athenaeum is co-sponsored by the McGrublian Center for Human Rights, the Berger Institute for Work, Family, and Children, and the Kravis Leadership Institute, as well as the Center for Writing and Public Discourse. As always, audio and visual recording is strictly prohibited. And before I welcome Arn Chorn-Pond to the Athenaeum, we will play a brief introductory biographical video.
This is Cambodia, 1975, and music is everywhere. It's on these streets that Arn Chorn-Pond grew up, listening.
When I was a little boy in Cambodia, I was living in a temple. I was already kind of homeless. We would sneak out to a movie theater and watch American war movie and kung fu. We hear music all the time. I heard rock and roll. Every morning when we get up, we heard all these songs. We heard about the war, but I didn't understand about war. Sometimes we heard the words Khmer Rouge, but it didn't mean anything to us.
As spring came, so did the soldiers. After years of fighting, the national government fell to the Khmer Rouge, a rebel group determined to transform Cambodia into an agrarian-based communist utopia.
I heard the truck and tanks on the highway. Khmer Rouge were cheering. They raised their guns and they screamed, "Peace is coming, peace is coming." That was the first time I felt that there was something wrong.
As the Khmer Rouge came to power, they began ordering everyone from the cities into the countryside with the promise that they could return in a few days.
Thousands of people packed into the highway. I've never seen anything like that before. Along the highway, I started to see some dead people. Now I'm being taken away from my family among about 700 children. We were forced to work from 5 in the morning to midnight. Many times there were no foods for us, and they said that you don't work hard enough.
Soon it became clear that the temporary camps were permanent. and the Khmer Rouge began its program of systematic killing.
All of a sudden they wanted to start a music group because they don't want people to hear the screaming of the killing. And I raised my hand for the music. I knew that I had to play well for the Khmer Rouge. If I don't work hard, I would die. I thought my life couldn't even get worse than what I've seen. But as in 1979, when the Vietnamese invaded Cambodia, now no more music next for us. The Khmer Rouge have trucks full of guns.
Thousands of children like Arn, some as young as 8 years old, were forced to fight in the Khmer Rouge's war against Vietnam.
I just have to figure out how to shoot, otherwise I would die. I was countless battles and kids are dying all the time. You just have to continue to be vicious and make yourself numb to all of this, and you have to be a killer. I ran away from the line because I could not take it seeing those kids. I took off into the jungle.
After weeks of walking, Arn eventually made it to a refugee camp just over the Thai border, where he caught the attention of an American missionary named Peter Pond.
He was a worker. He tried to rescue other kids, and I sort of clung to his neck. And the next morning he came back and tried to find me and brought some food. He kept coming back and see me, and he brought me to America.
Arn and 2 other Cambodian boys finally arrived in their new home, Jefferson, New Hampshire.
He's a crazy guy, Peter Pond. He took us to McDonald's first, and then I threw up the next week after. It was 9th grade. It was high school. The kids has no idea where we were from, and they start calling names and slur and all of these things that I never heard before. That time I was really angry all the time. I was suicidal, eventually ran away from home. I had an urge of telling my story, but I could not do it. My dad, he just said, you all must speak. If you speak out, the American kid would listen. That was really a turning point in a way for me internally. I think there's no other ways for me to understand American kids or American kids to understand me. There's no other way.
Arn spoke to a packed audience of thousands at St. John the Divine and began a lifelong journey to tell his story. He started with Children of War, an organization dedicated to helping children overcome suffering from war and other traumas. After graduating college, Arn began to work with gang members in Lowell, Massachusetts, sharing his story and helping them share theirs.
I walk the street and find these Cambodian gang members. Many of them ended up in jail, and I visit them in jail and never give up on them like someone didn't give up on me. Though I learned that lesson. In
1993, Arn returned to Cambodia. He found a changed country, but realized that the musical traditions he had learned, the instruments he played, had been lost. He found the master musicians destitute, living on the streets.
The war have destroyed the roots of life. So was the birth of Cambodian Living Arts. We found these few masters first, and then we could be able to connect this master to the young people.
Arn Chorn-Pond is one of the most inspiring people that I've ever met. He's taken the adversity that happened to him and turned it into something really, really extraordinary and really beautiful. It's certainly an honor and a privilege for me to be trusted with those stories. So now the book is out, and there's a lot to talk about how it resonates today.
The trick is to connect, to find connection. Connection is relationship. Relationship is to share the story.
If we tell the stories from the past, we won't make those mistakes again.
We need contact somehow. It's healing, it's power. more than anything else I could think. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to come today. I feel very lucky to be invited here to speak. This is my first time in the region. I have a mixed feeling today that I would just love to share you more story about what I am doing now with the Cambodian Living Arts, and Charlie can help me out. But I hope you will have question about it in the end, to see have young people playing music and a lot of hope. But it's also, I was asked to share about my life again. It's not easy, so things could, please bear with me if anything, you know, I am a lot emotional for me talking about this, but please bear with me, and I'm very nervous right now. The other feeling for me is that it is, I think tomorrow or the next day will be the 40th, the day that the Khmer Rouge came in to my city. I live about a second largest city called Battambang, and I remember that day they came in. We know that this group of some as young as you know, the teens with the black pajamas coming in, black clothing, and with scarf and with the cap, with their, like the Chinese cap, coming in with the truck and raising the flag and said, and they announced, they said, we won the war, American left. I heard the word Americans also. And that was the day that I didn't care. The day before that, I wasn't care. I was with my little brother and little sister, just get out of the, you know, of a movie theater. We love movies, and I love ice cream. I took my sister, my brother to go for ice cream on the street of the city. And I didn't really care. I heard the bomb drop around the countryside before they came in, and I heard the word Vietnam and America, but I don't really care, and it didn't affect me with my little sister and my little brother. But they came in that I remembered also the time when I was asked also to, by this time we were spending a lot of our time in the temple, Buddhist temple, where I was taught how to respect the monk properly, the Buddhist monk properly, and there were foods everywhere, there were music all the time, and some music that I heard from that day were like rock and roll music, you know, from the 60s. And I heard here, so the Khmer Rouge came in. They said the American got very angry. Now they got angry. They are losing the war. So everybody had to move out of to the countryside because the American gonna come with the bombs again. They drop bomb again. Then the next day, we were like many people I saw packed onto the highway. It was in 3 days. I saw some people die, shot already. I didn't feel good about the whole situation, and I was taken to live in that temple where I was forced. I was 12 years old. I was forced to play music. I didn't play the flute, I played the other instruments, and were forced to do many other things that any child shouldn't be forced to do. And I knew if I didn't do it, they would kill me like others people. And I raised my hand for the music, and this time they didn't trick me, they didn't trick us. They brought an old man and to teach us a few weeks, and 3 boys were slow to learn, also ended up in the mango grove. They killed them, and I met Master Mac, who was my second teacher, who they didn't kill because I asked them not to kill him, and in turn he asked them not to kill me. And we play music for them, and sometimes I saw they make fun. Sometimes they make fun with the dead. The Khmer Rouge make special acts like this, and they would prop a person up, a dead person up, and put American helmet into them and put cigarette in their mouth, and they laughed. I've lived there for two and a half years and I barely can survive. I barely gone crazy. I've turned myself off. Like, I would see blood, I would see what they were doing in front of me, and they were watching my face and any other children. If we were to have any feeling for the dead, they would kill us too. And they would watch our face, and they later in 1979, when the Vietnamese invaded the country, thousands of other kids, they took my instruments away, and thousands of other kids like myself from 9, kids that can just carry the gun, that barely can carry the guns, and they didn't tell us how to use the guns. We have to go up, we have to go to the front line and just go, and sometimes they use us as a decoy. And if we didn't have any order to take off from them, they would shoot us behind too. So because we were not Khmer Rouge, they're trying to save. I learned that they're trying to save their soldiers. And the Vietnamese were so good, in shooting us because they just had an experience with Americans. I didn't know this. And imagine, kid was shot left and right, and it was very hard for me to see those kids and to really carry them while they had blood all over me, and I had a hard time reconcile with this feeling, and I don't want ever any of you to feel this way, is to feel powerless, carrying them and you can't help them. I decided to leave the line and ran off into the jungle by myself and live in the jungle by myself, and I survived just watching the monkey. They were not short of fruit, their fruit were everywhere, and the water, and I just followed the monkey, and I pick up the drops, and I just eat it, and usually it didn't poison me. And I ended up in the Thailand border, in Thailand, in the camp. They put me in the camp where I met my foster father, and in the 1980, I remember in the fall of 1980, I got into New Hampshire in White Mountain Regional High School, where I thought my life could be better. they told me from the camp that America was like, big house, a lot of cars, a lot of money, and I heard the word freedom, and I thought I would be happy here. The next day, my dad took me, I told, they say it in here, and they took me to the McDonald's, and I asked him for rice. I was so mad. I haven't had rice for a long time. And they said, no rice. You have to learn how to eat this. So McDonald's, I keep eating it. I remember I was angry, but I was hurt a lot. I was about to run away. And I ate it, and they called hamburgers, and my stomach couldn't be able to take it, and I want to throw up at my dad's head. I thought he was like second Pol Pot, and forced me to do things so I got trouble already, and the next day he took me to the mall, and I thought the mall was free. I think people say, I saw my dad putting thing on the tray, and I was starting to put some socks on my pocket, and I get out, and siren went off, and I got trouble already. I thought it was free. And then it was worse than that. Later on, the next day he took me to the high school. There were no black, there were no Asian, there were no green, no blue, but only white kid. I heard the siren again. I'm about to run. But then I saw this like white cloud, like a lot of people coming, and they were noisy, and they stopped a little bit because they saw me. I knew that I had dark hair. I knew they think that I'm alien or something. And then I had a lot of fights with them. They called me names. I heard the word monkey, and they said, go back where you belong, and it hurts. And I was suicidal later on, and my foster father said, I ran away from home a few times. I ended up in detention all the time when I had a fight. I wanted to kill myself, but I think my dad knew this, and he came and said, Arn, you better talk to this kid about your life, otherwise you're going to die. You survived the jungle of Cambodia, but you might not survive the jungle of New Hampshire. And I knew probably what he meant by that. He said, seriously, if you die, he said, we are family now. You are my son, and I don't want you to die here. If you die, we die too. We're all going to die together. So I think he was serious about that. And I learned how to speak a little, and so my first speech, I thought American kid wouldn't care what I went through and where Cambodia is. They didn't even know. I think they spoil, and they're too busy with the mall, they're too busy. So I didn't want to do it, but I was wrong when I started to do it first time and be able to play my music again for my first time. And like today, they listen. And that's when I also feel good about myself, and I continue to do it. And I also even call them for to be partners, with me, and they be able to help me. So I've started so many things in America, and so in Cambodia now, I went back to Cambodia and started this Cambodian Living Arts, where I got most of the support from here. And I'm very proud to carry my passport all the time. Being Americans, not so easy. Many years ago, I had to pass a test. Like a lot of questions in a test. Who was the first president of the United States, and what was the first ship bringing the people to come here? So I have to pass all of that. And some of you I feel like not so proud about having the passport, and some of you don't even have passport. So I carry wherever I go now, and in Cambodia now, the Cambodian Living Arts, it's 15 years now, and I am very happy to say that I'm glad my life ended up with something very positive and something not so bloody, even though I worked with the gangs in Providence, Rhode Island, before I got so burned out. In 1993, 94, I went back to Cambodia and found Master Mac after 20 years on the street, stumbled into him, my master, survived all these years, cutting hair for the ex-Khmer Rouge and drunk. I saw him right away. I think many years he had me in his heart. I saw him far away, and he stood up and he looked at me, and right away I know he was so happy. He smiled and he knew who I was, but tears running out from his eyes. And we hugged each other, and he said, where have you been? I said, America. He said, where the hell America? I said, I'll tell you later, but can you find I asked him to stop cutting hair, and I smelled alcohol, and he was drunk. And I said, let's play music together. So the first time we played together, and I gave him enough money to ask the Khmer Rouge not finish the haircut yet. He's gone. And we were playing music, and this Khmer Rouge coming around also here. We play some of their song also, the Khmer Rouge song. And we play some love song too, which they kill because you play love song. But this time, they didn't kill. I was so into it, I wasn't afraid that time when I met Master Mac. So we play love song too, and we said, ooh. So, but they didn't kill us. So that's good, that was good. And then Master Mac said, you don't go back to America yet. You must have something for me to do. I don't want to get drunk to death, but I want to teach, as he said. I knew he wanted to pass down his skill to the next generation. He doesn't want to die drunken, as a drunken man. I found few masters on the street, the same condition. They were household name, they were 80 years old and all of that, and I found out that 90% of all the performers were slaughtered by the Khmer Rouge. And so members of my family, I found out about my mom and my dad own an opera company. That was why they targeted my family also. So it was the birth of Cambodian Living Arts. We just paired them with some of the students, the street kids, especially young women who got trapped into prostitution and live on the street. That's how we started it. Now, 15 years later, we have many children now, especially girls, playing traditional music, and a feeling for me that there's a lot of hope with these young people. They gain a lot of confidence by playing music, by dancing and painting, and I see their confidence rise, These young girls who were beaten up in the street so many times, they don't deserve this after their parents and grandparents went through the killing field. And it hurts me more to right now, I invite you personally to go to Cambodia there's no more war. I invite you to have a group to go and to help me with the Cambodian Living Arts. Exciting times now, it's so hard for me and Charlie to do this. And the mixed feeling for me is when I became Cambodian-American, I learned, my dad told me that, Arn, what you will learn in America might just also kill you. I've learned that even before Khmer Rouge took over, there were B-52s, the bomb that this big, 3 million tons were dropped in Cambodia and Laos. That American, my second country who gave me life, second life, dropping bomb in my first country, that I was there too when I was probably 5. 3 million tons of bomb dropped there. And it was not too far. Cambodia, Southeast Asia was not too far. Some of the kids say, oh, it's too far to go, and would take a lot of money and all that. Yeah, it takes 12-hour trips, but it's not too far for the bomb. I would like to carpet Cambodia with music students, with American students, to go there and give hugs to those children that I work with now, play music with them, dance with them, singing with them. And I dream of any child in Cambodia, every child in the world. I grew beyond Cambodia now, and to carry musical instruments, not guns like I did, and to sing, to dance, and talks about love, and then hate. That's what I want every child to do. And why not? Why not? That's what I'm asking. So I'm going to play the next song, a more hopeful song. And I hope you have questions for me and for Charlie, and plan to visit my country. Very exciting time. See? Thank you.
We will now be taking questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and either Shannon or I will come by with a microphone. As always, preference goes to students.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming. It was amazing to hear all of that. And I wanted to ask you about the book, Never Fall Down, and how you felt about how you were represented in the book. And I know that there was another person who was writing it. And how did that process work for you? You know, working with another author in telling your story.
You know, the book, they cannot put so much killing in there, you know. I understand. And I trust Patty McCormick very much. We became very good friends. I was introduced a few times to other people. There was idea circling around even before that to write a book. They said your story could be a book, and I didn't want to do it earlier year because I don't feel I can do it. So I wait until the right person, and just a few years ago I was introduced by John, my friends, introduced me to Patty McCormick. 15 minutes we were like friends in New York, and I didn't know who she was and all that. And I think the process, it takes quite a long time. And I cry, and then she cried, and then she cried too. And she asked if we stop, and then we resume again some other time. And then what surprised me was that she didn't tell me that she wanted to go to Cambodia, but she said, Arn, I'm going to Cambodia. This is a blonde hair girl, you know, very sophisticated, like you. I said, what, you want to come to Cambodia? I said, yeah. She said, yeah, okay. Then she went to Cambodia, brave of her, you know, and her husband, I found out, her husband Paul is also a Vietnam vet. He said, Arn, please, take care of my wife. I said, wow, what a trust, you know. And I said, you know, so I was preparing to put my life for her. I mean, and not only to go to Cambodia in the capital where I work with the Cambodian Living Arts. She just said, I don't know whether I can visit Cambodian Living Arts class a little bit, but we are doing the book here, and I need you to really, we were shaking together and stuff like that. She was really well. And she said, Anna, I want to go to the border. Wow, I think this girl getting too crazy now. I mean, there's a lot of landmines still. I haven't been there for a long time. Who left there? And we took the car. We took the car, and then we found few friends. And the boy who was also playing music that was saved during the Khmer Rouge, we found him along the border, but crazy, a little crazy. And he was in the car with me too. And it just little, you know, problems. But those guys don't cry, and I continue to cry, and they don't know. It was confusion. And she met a character in the book. His real name, I don't want to. He's an ex-Khmer Rouge who saw me doing a lot of things, you know, stealing. That's a cause of death, you know. That risking my life to steal during the time to steal for someone else. I thought that no one gonna know. No other Khmer Rouge would know that I steal food for other people. I've done it many times so other people can live. I didn't even remember that. And this man who's ex-Khmer Rouge, older, and he likes me, he thinks I'm a charmer or something. That's what he said to her. He said, Arn, I want you to take a walk. I'm going to talk to this guy. So he knew, he said, that guy said that he likes me very much. That's why he didn't kill me, because that's what he wanted to do in his life also, he said. So there are many things she found out from him that I wasn't around, and that I found out about myself through the book, through what he said to her. So it was, and it's 99% accurate, my story, and she's also using mostly my words, my own word. I still speak little baby American, you know, English. I don't speak English well, and still I go to school so many years, but I don't still speak English well. But she used, in the book, she said, I'm using your own words when she recorded and all that. I think people liked it. I think so. And many young people are in school now. I'm surprised to know that you read it, and that you have the book, you read it, that you have the book in your library. So I'm quite surprised. I don't know where it is now in the business. You know, I'm now driving something I call the first Khmer music bus. I didn't talk to you about that. Just last year, I was in the Kickstarter when after I performed. Last year we decided to drop a plane load, not bombs. We dropped a plane load of 150 artists in 20 art forms in the middle of New York City. Cambodian Living Arts helped to organize that. So we dropped the artists. I performed in Lincoln Center with Mike for the first time in a big crowd. And then we were in a really big venues like the BAM, Lincoln Center, and many other things. That's how I get back. Settle my score in my first country, and now I get back to my second country, now my first country in Cambodia. I drive this Khmer Magic music bus, the first Khmer Magic music bus. I put the musician, the older and the young master to go anywhere I go perform, and just reintroduce to this villager that never heard or touched any instruments in their lives. The children, little children, never heard or somebody go with music in playing under their house. Never. They're gonna die with no music in their life. So I reintroduce that back to them, and I'm carpeting. This is our president 40 years ago used the word carpeting. Lao and Cambodia with B-52. I'm carpeting the first Khmer Magic music bus yet with music in Cambodia. And somewhere in the Khmer Rouge whole territory too, we play music for the ex-Khmer Rouge family too. That's how I got back to them. put music right into their face. If they don't like it, their children might like it. I just want them to have option and choices, not like what they've done to me. If they've done to many other people, you don't like it, I shoot you. You don't want to do what I tell you to do, I shoot you. That's not the way to go. So I'm telling them, I'm giving them a choice now for their children to learn that music, dancing together, and people care for you and love you, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Like this room, I feel a lot of love, a lot of care. Good thing. And why not we are spreading all over the world? Why not we scared to go out into the world and spread that? Why? So I'm asking you too, you know. Any more? Yeah.
Hi, thank
Hi.
you very much for your talk.
Thank you.
I'm curious about your work with gangs in Providence.
Yeah.
What led you to get involved in that work, and did you see similar levels of isolation or depression that you felt when you were in high school, and is that kind of how you were able to connect with the youth there?
Some of that part, because I told you I want to kill myself because people call me name, and then I found out that many of these young people were from somewhere else. That hurts me more, that these white kids, they were from England, they were from Scotland, they were from, the first people who were here was Indians, right? And then the black, slavery, we didn't even say anything about those things. And so we didn't tell the truth, we always hide. So it hurts me that my brother and white brother and sister don't even know who they are. And then they go lashing out on other people, make other people feel bad, and hurt other people in the feeling. I felt the same also in me. I feel the same hurt, the same suicidal in the gang members. Some of those gang members, I work with Southeast Asian gang members, they were like, a son and a daughter of the refugees who were put in Lowell area, second largest Cambodian population in Lowell, and the first largest in Long Beach, California, not too far from here. And their parents still speak Khmer Cambodian to them, and just something like this, the kids are now going to school speaking English and rap and all this, their hand, their gesture, they're Americans. I am Americans. And then their parents say, go and wash your clothes, and they go like this because they didn't understand it. And culturally, the Cambodian parents, the gesture they're doing is look down on them, disrespect them. But in America, like this mean I don't know, like raising it's culture thing. So just a little thing like that, they fight, they argued, and these kids got crazy themselves. Gang is one of the things that the drug dealers come to them and say, I love you, your parents don't love you, I love you. Here, sell drug, you get money. So they spend day in and day out with them. I saw this because I walk on the street. I've decided that I could do something about it after I graduated from Providence College. I just feel like I can do this. I feel that I can be useful to do this. And all I know that some of them knew that I was finishing college. It's like, and you're a college boy. You're a prep boy, they call it. They call me a prep boy. So the prep boys call me the Cambodian boys, and I go to work with them, they call me a prep boy. And, oh, you want to help me, right? You know anything about guns? So I told them, yeah, oh, sure, I know some about guns. You have to do a lot of proving to them. You take off the guns, you show them how to to dismantle the guns and all this thing. Oh, how you know about the guns? So the connection started when you have the conversation going. So that is a moment that you need to connect with that person, no matter where you're from, what class you're in. We all have to find that connection that I talk about in the film. I have nothing to prove to you, I just want to help you. You need a job. You cannot be only on the street and rob and do violence toward your own people. Mostly they're doing it to other Cambodians. You see, they rob, they kill. And then I move on to work with the Black, the Crip, and the Blood, you know, the two big main gangs. If you don't have half of the time you spend with them, with this person or that group, then the drug dealers, then they will get your kid. They will get that person. They spend more time with them. So the connection, the pain, the confusion that I felt with these young people on the street, it's the same way I felt. The loneliness, nobody love you, and the drug dealer come, we love you. They say it, but you know, it's a brainwash, we know that. So they go for that. And I did help some, and then I ended up burned out, you know, seeing some of the kids that I took for ice cream. This boy, for example, like I call him a little Buddha. He was a little beautiful kid, 9-year-old. And I always took him for ice cream, and he said, oh, he's acting like this, you know. Like, yo, man, you know anything about gun, man? Why are you taking me for ice cream for? I think you're just a little kid. You know, and, you know, a lot of conversation going. That's what you need when you connect. I don't know, we can find way to do this. But I think there's no way just to look, you're willing to do it and look at them in the eyes and just treat them as they're human beings. That's probably magic to it. There's no skill I learned from the college to do that. Time, just look at them in the eyes. Time is so important too. I burned out after a few years, but I've started so many things. And then that took me to Cambodia. And now ended up, you know, something I started with music. Now, young people all over the world now calling me from Mexico, from around here. Young boy calling me, how do you do that with Cambodian Living Art? I want to start in Mexico too. You know, all that. And he went for a week. He find his own money to go. He might be a drug dealer, I don't know. I said, how you got the money so quickly? I said, no, I just want to, I'm a painter. I want to do this, you know, my life, but nobody support me. So he went and he saw our classes and all that. So Cambodia will be known for its music, for its culture, beautiful culture, not the killing field. That's what I'm dreaming. We are on our way. So I'm inviting you again to help me I grew beyond Cambodia now, you know. So that's what got me. I don't know, I just keep open my heart for any situation, for any opportunity I get my hand on. And I don't know, you will find your own way to connect with others that you want to spend your life with. But time and just being honest. I don't know whether I answer your question, but you know, thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for your talk. You're truly inspiring. I just wanted to know, it was a question for both you and Charlie, where do you see Cambodia Living Arts going from here on out?
Time for you, Charlie. She's asked you too. No, you please, Charlie. I've been talking too much already. I don't feel like you need your help out, Charlie. We are glad to have you, Charlie.
Well, it really should be Arn's question, but I think he needs a break. So we have lots of things going on with Cambodian Living Arts. Really, what Arn started 15 years ago has now become a kind of catalyst for leading the arts community in Cambodia and helping the government bring the country back to its full health through its arts and culture. And so we just finished a year and a half ago a major festival in New York, which was designed to help bring about the vision of Cambodian Living Arts, which is to see that Cambodia be known to the world and to itself, not for the killing fields, but for the living arts. And I think after 2 months in New York, on about 34 venues, New York, which is the cultural capital of the West, maybe, knows Cambodia and knows that Cambodia is a place to go for the living arts, not just to see the killing fields or only Angkor Wat. And now, in a few years, we also are now looking forward to a major festival of Cambodian arts in Cambodia. We're working on a project to bring around the world a major requiem that remembers the genocide, but in a way that brings hope for the future. And I think one of the other major things that Cambodian Living Arts is doing is working with a whole new generation of young people to become leaders of the country through the arts. And there are now 40 students this year, I think, who are Arn Chorn-Pond scholars who are studying advanced scholars for his scholarship, who are doing advanced study and leadership training to help the country move to a brighter future for the arts. So it's an exciting time. Come visit Arn in Cambodia. What can you add, Arn?
That's fine, Charlie. That's fine. I got a phone.
I'd love to jump in and ask a question, if that's okay.
What?
You mentioned that people have been calling you from other areas like Mexico and I can't remember the specific country in Africa that you cited, looking to adapt the model to their home countries. And it seems like these are also areas that have had a lot of conflict either currently or in their recent past. Do you see ways to adapt this model that you've started to other post-conflict societies to help with the healing process?
Sure, for sure. Some different contexts somehow in, like what's happened now in Iraq, in Syria, in many places, and I hope. I mean, with the bombing now, with the war, it's hard. It's like a snowballing. If you put the situation now, nobody can talk to each other. You use bullets. It's going to be hard to stop. And as long as you can stop that, and then the art can go right away. I mean, the art is so important. That's why I realized that why the Khmer Rouge targeted the artists. And I hear so many other genocide also that, this is 100 years also Armenian genocide. I want to just relate it to you and Holocaust. And we say never again, When is it going to be never again, Rwanda and, 100 years of your ancestors' genocide. The arts can do it. I mean, can heal us. And I don't say yes, and I don't so easily, if it heals me, and I say it. And to see young people dancing and playing music and the confidence in them, the confidence in them, that's what we need the first, for them to learn other things. Politics, economics, computers. These kids are so smart. They are the star kids, they're smart all over the world. Star kids are born all over the world. But they need the nurture, the love. That's what the foundation of it. The love, the nurture that you all have here from your parents, from your teacher that love you every morning. They assure that you feel loved by telling you, by hugging you. You should be happy and grateful for that. And some kids, I see it, they throw it away because they have so many things, materialist things, they confuse to throw it away. But I think the art, to find the identity, your identity as Cambodians, very unique. Your identity as African, Armenian, very unique. You honor that. And the identity of a white man. Sometimes I see my father was confused about who he is than I am. My foster father, Peter Pond, that I love, he risked his life for me. And he said, Arn, he told me that if you find out about a white man, you might be really hurt. I'm your father, and I know you love me, and I'm proud that you are my son, and you teach me a lot. That's before he died, my dad. A white man, confused. Imagine that, have a lot of money, a lot of power. It's represent like America, for example. But if you are playing just bullet, like a Wild West, then you continue to lie to yourself, you continue to be hurt, and then you get other people hurt with you around the world. That's what we operated at. But wake up. I wanted to start children to feel the love is so important. The identity that we all beautiful. Like a flower in the garden, some smell good, some smell bad, some don't smell at all, but they're all beautiful. That's who we are all. Why are we calling each other's name? Why are we waste time pulling each other's hair and trying to be right all the time? I want you to be right. I'm wrong. I'm willing to be wrong. So this, I think the arts can be adapted again to a model in a post-conflict. It works already, and music will bring people together, and you just adapt to the different dance, different culture in different countries. But this is not a genius thing, you know. It just the kids can start it better than a lot of people, you know, or your children, because there's no border. The music, you know, you feel it when I play. You don't even know what the name of the music, you know, the piece, but I'm sure you feel it inside of you. That's music is magic, you know, and no border, yeah. Yes. You.
So just as everyone has said, thank you so much for coming. This was, in my opinion, one of the best speeches I've heard here, so thank you. So these sentiments that you're sharing about that you want people to feel loved and everything really resonates, I think, with all of us. But right now when you're saying it, we feel it so strongly, and it's great in this moment. But then you also mentioned this idea of becoming numb to the violence around us, to the suffering. And I think that when we're not in this moment listening to you talk, or we're not in the moment where we're feeling bad for people and want to help people, we do become numb and we forget what it's like for the people who are suffering. And so I want to know, in your opinion, so you've gone through so much, so you think of these things every day. Just at this table, he was thinking, you have this food in front of you, and the dessert, and the bread, and everything, and that's because he's gone through his siblings dying of starvation. But we don't think of that every day. So for our at least I don't. And so for us and students here in America, I mean, what is a way for us to get past that numbness? How can you, what is something we can do every day or in our lives to recognize that we can help others and spread this love that you're talking about?
To tell you the truth, I don't know. Thank you. I don't know what love is. I'm searching too. You know, we are searching for that. I don't claim that I know about love. I mean, I've got it. I think in my life, first time I've got it from a white man. My father, Peter. I remember my first father I've ever had. Very difficult man. You know, he's a chauvinistic pig. But we love each other. I screamed at him, he screamed at me, and I said that. You want me to work with you? I mean, no woman can work with you for half an hour. I worked with him for 15 years. And Charlie asked me once before, you know, he's a piece of cake. I work with him. I'm so honored to work with him. He's like replacing my father in its moment, whether he knows it or not. You are not any difficult at all, Charlie. I'm really glad I spent time with you and first New Year together here too. To remind each other of I was numb into the blood because too much. I saw the blood and I didn't smell it anymore. Then I knew that I was numbing. I saw they slaughtered people in front of me and I don't see it. I don't feel it because I'm afraid to die. So I turn off. I can do this very easily. I can do it again. I turn off my heart. I turn off my system to feel numb and go back to what the Khmer Rouge want me to, which is to be the killer, to be the evil that they were, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry they didn't get me. I'm sorry. I didn't even learn now how to cry. That's not in my vocabulary while I was a child soldier, and they look at me in the face and try to see my emotion that go toward that, what they call it, caring. Not to say about love. Caring, you care about this, they shoot you. I don't want you to go through all of these things to get yourself numb, you know, to be awake. And I hope you won't have to go through this because you are all my brother and sister now too. You know, I have white brother and sister myself. I have 8 of them from my mom's side, my dad's side. And you are, I don't see you as Armenian or Chinese or the black or Haitian. I only see human being. That's all, and I'm really happy that I see that inside of me. Technically, I see that. You know, we all laugh the same thing, cry the same thing, feel the same thing. We look different, that's all. And I think I told you guys already, everywhere we go, like out of this school, there's 5 malls, shopping mall right in front of us. We can't even escape it. We build malls. So our country here building malls, so our kids can learn how to just shop. Mall, you know what the word mauling is? People think mauling is like that, right? Mauling yourself to death. That's what it means. They want our young people to say, Daddy, Mommy, I love you, $20 please. You see? So I get sad like that when I hear this young angel, white angel, behave this way. Just say, I love you, stop. And then next day you can say, can I have $10 to buy something? So I want to yank them, you know. They are angel, they have all the love, but again, there's so many, like 1,000 channels just on TV. You know, the food, after dessert, tea, coffee, more. And then we don't feel it. We don't feel like we are lucky. I'm not sure I chose to be with you today. You choose to be here today. That's all I can say. We keep choosing the right place, the right people to hang around with. I would have chosen to be somewhere else tonight. I said, Charlie, go ahead, give a speech, man. I'm not going with you. You could be saying, I'm not going to listen to this guy because it's too much, you know. It's not my problem. You choose to be here, that's a good sign. I choose to be here, it's a good sign for me. You know? And that's sorry, when it comes into a life and death situation, every minute you're on your own. I'm sorry to say this, but some kid, I told them, you hear me or not, it's okay, it's not my problem. But I'm glad you just came already, and I decided to be with you today. And that's all I'm hopeful for. And your decision, life and death decision, that I hope you won't have to face this. But I'm telling you, no place. You will be on your own, but no place. Even your parents can't save you. But there's no place that, how you say it, you know, it's already like, remember Virginia Tech, Columbine High School, and now in a place in Kenya. You know, and don't say that it's not going to happen here. Arn, you come and speak to us here, we are lucky, don't worry, it's not going to happen here. Think twice, think again. If we don't open our heart to care about someone else who really sitting close to us in high school or in college, they look a little different, but they're timid, they don't say anything, look angry, we don't even bother ask how they feel. We with Nintendo, or we with the movies to have to go to, the club that I'm waiting for the hunk, to see the hunk, you know, to sleep with. Something like that. I know I'm American myself. You know, I know. So if that happened in our country, and there's kids, don't have to be a kid from South Korea to do this harm. You know, from South Korea, like we say, it's no color. You know, the killing and the loneliness you feel, no color. The same way with love. What do I know about love again? And the deep caring for someone else is no color. Music, no color. Dance, music, there's no color, no boundaries. So please, I invite you to just be reminded of yourself, you know, and you will be on your own, I'm sorry to say. But I'm glad you're here tonight. I'm glad I'm here tonight too. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your speech, and it's truly an inspiration. So you mentioned your difficulty in integrating in America when you came here into the school that's primarily Caucasian, and it seems like now you refer United States as your second country, and you really do feel I'm not sure if this is the right word, but more loyalty and a sense of belonging to the country as well. So I'm wondering if you can tell us when you got to that point, and maybe if you use your personal experience in that to maybe help the gang members integrate back into the society as well.
Yeah, I've done the best I could to help some of them. I did. I wanted to share you just a short story. Someone called me from Providence, Rhode Island, and say, I'm running. I don't know what he's running for, maybe a librarian or something. I said, I'm glad for you, you're running. But come visit me. He was nearby. I spoke at the library in Providence. And there's a necktie boy, look just like you, a necktie, a handsome dude, coming. He said, Arn, you remember, you don't remember me, are you? He said, I was a smallest kid that I literally kicked his ass. When he said it, I remembered him very well. He grew up, American kid don't know what they eat, they eat and then grow up big and they pump up, And he said, I was the one. And he really running for something important, and few of them are running for the first city council in Lowell. I think the story sharing, I think that's it. If all survivors from all the countries that went through this, I should say not only for me, before they die, to be able to share it. And I respect some of these survivors that I met from all over the world, Jewish survivor, Armenian is like many generations. There are some girls that, her grandparent went through Hiroshima bomb that I met, many around the world. And they said, no, Arn, I don't know how you do this. It hurts me. I don't want to poke in my old wounds, they said, And I hate reminding, and American kids are so, they're angry. And they have the reason to. And I respect them for that. And I hope they respect me. It's rare to find a person who's willing. Very rare now in the world. And I wish that there would be more. So it would be a little less work for me, for other survivors who are willing to do it. You know what I mean? But pretty rare. And I think the story sharing, I don't know how we can create that in a school. I think this is one thing, to have a survivor to come and be looking at each other in the eyes, That's one other thing. There may be probably 100 ways to do it, right? 1,000 ways to do it. We are creative, We have a lot of money and power, a lot of freedoms in America. That's one thing I also learned, that I'm proud being American. And the first things that the turning point for me was that I told you that I thought American kids, I felt the same thing with other survivors, that American kids they are spoiled, they wouldn't give a damn about what I went through. But I was wrong, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm not ashamed to admit it. When I spoke, there's a little young girl in the church of New Hampshire, a Franconia church. She came and hugged me and gave me $1. And she said, Arn, she's 12 years old. And she said, Arn, I thank you for sharing your story. And I don't wish me or my relatives will go through this, my sister and my brothers. And I go home, I will tell my mom and my dad and that I love them and all of that. That touched me. I remember that very well. And playing my music for the first time again. And there was hope for me that this little girl literally come and hug me and look at me in the eyes. And that time, I knew that she doesn't judge me. She doesn't see me as an Asian guy, She hugged my waist. I was 14. I was probably 16 then. And I told her I was about her age, and I weigh about 30 pounds. When Peter literally stepped on me in the camp, and I was about to die. So this little girl that touched me, there's something doesn't take big to touch you in your life. Sometimes you're looking for the big thing to really touch you, to change you. But I'm really happy that I was be able to really open my heart for this little thing to come, and I keep opening new things. That's maybe also the reason I survived also the Khmer Rouge, because I want to live so bad. And my sister, my brother, who did nothing wrong, I'm not sure why they didn't survive. They probably better than me, you know, their goodness. They're so soft, they're so nice, they're so kind. Most of them died during the genocide. And I felt pretty bad that I'm probably a bad kid and why I survived, you know. So feel a lot of guilt, not easy to survive. And so doing something like this helped me also, you know. I know that you care, I know that you nod your head, I know that you look at me in the eyes. That's what gives me, we call it energy, and to do what I'm doing now the best that I can. I think about the world, saving the world like you. I have a dream about saving the world like you. But many, many children don't have that opportunity. But you just do whatever you can personally, one person at a time, one village at a time, one country at a time. Then I think it will grow. I don't know what I answer your question because I'm all over the place myself.
We will have time for one more question.
Yeah, no, no, yeah.
Thank you so much for your talk. You actually came and spoke at my secondary school when I was in 7th grade, and we were still talking about it when we were seniors. It really lasted that long, the impact. My question for you today is, you said that you were forced to play music for the Khmer Rouge when you were in the Children's Army, and now music is a source of like joy in your life. I'm wondering how you managed to reconcile like the emotions that the Khmer Rouge probably at one point you associated the music with that awfulness, and I'm wondering how you managed to reconcile that and make music such a source of joy in your life now.
Well, thank you for a long time. We've met. Am I speaking that long? A long time ago, right? Wow. Yes or no? I think music mostly here. I mean, different people, especially politicians, using music and art. They know how powerful it is. You know, the arts, the music. They're using it, then they target it. They know that the art's so powerful that people love to come together, you know, playing music, you know, eating together, laugh, and making people come together. That was probably the reason also they target them before anybody else probably. At the same time, they want to use the music, the same instrument, to brainwash a little kid like myself to play their revolutionary song at much faster, and all in the lyrics, every word is like, kill the doctor, kill blood, kill the Americans, kill blood, all of that. They're trying to brainwash me, so, and it was faster than, you know, like a music for marching on. And I see that in Hollywood the same. They have rappers. I'm now introducing rapping to Cambodia. I brought the kids in Law that I help, called Siaja. They are hip-hopping, they are rappers, you know, more rapper than some of your Americans or whatever. They are Americans, and I took them to Cambodia many years ago, and one of them ended up living there right now and introducing the rap and reality show. We call it a reality show here, Byproduct of America, the first reality show in Cambodia right now on TV. But I talked to them in one condition. You know what I'm committed to now. And you are committing to what I'm committing to. That's why we are together, which is using music to bring people together. Positive, happy, education, and like, don't feel like, you know, hugging and you know, jumping like hippie, la la land, you know, and all this. They make fun of that. You know how hard it is to be a musician, to be a dreamers, you know. You have to be really creative to be a dreamer. And they call John Lennon a dreamer, and they shoot him. And now what we learn about him, he's already dead. But he knows that, you know, I also honored to also be able to meet Yoko Ono in New York, and I asked her the very nice, you know, the song, the Imagine, for this Yasha to remix for Amnesty International, and they rap into it, you know. It was wonderful, the music, you know, and so there are music for, there are rapper for girl, there are rapper, you know, gold teeth, you know, making a lot of money, you know, $1 million car, you know, you have all the girls you want, you know, and they rap about violence, gang, kill the cop, and all that. That's another music that they're using. That's another, you know, I want you to know that there are yin and yang in the music. You know, I was taught to play in a really bad time, so I'm always cautioned when I open my eyes and I see you, not the Khmer Rouge, you know. So it's okay. But I play now love music, soothing, lullaby, beautiful song now. So I choose to be this side, you know. And whoever associated with me, they have to choose the side that I choose to die with is music about what we call the ultimate thing is love. You know, what is it?
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have. Please join me in thanking Arn Chorn-Pond.